fires that are right. Keep it safe and make sure there's no fire. Open to YouTube and look for Kids Fire Protection Answers.
So I live in an area where there's wildfires all the time. How do I protect against those? All right, well, if you're living in a pre-built house that you purchased, built, you're kind of starting behind the eight ball because there's not much really you can do other than to cut brush away from the edges of the house, keep the property clear, maybe change your roof from a shingle style roof to a metal roof. Use building materials that are more fire preventative than wood or chipboard, things with chemicals in them that would react to fire and burn quickly. You want fire retardant materials. Now, if you're building a house, that's a no-brainer. If you live in an area where there's wildfires, easy peasy answer, poured concrete home. You can get a poured concrete home that has a poured concrete roof with metal shingles that will protect you against wildfire far better than that stick-built home next door or down the road. Cinder block at certain temperatures explodes and it crumbles and burns. Cinder. Something to think about there. Poured concrete homes can be poured with fire retardant concrete. Use fire retardant concrete for the outer structure. Use fire retardant building materials on the inside and the windows. If I lived in a area that was prone to wildfires, I would certainly be looking at these options to build my home rather than to buy a stick-built home that is going to go away if a fire comes through that area. That would be my suggestion. There are ways that you could protect against wildfires. There are companies that are developing ridge-run sprinkler systems that have a fusible link that activates water to spray the outside of the house. Now, that's only going to work for so long. If it's a high wind, high intensity fire, it probably is not going to do you much good because that water is going to evaporate pretty quick, especially if it's a bellows type fire where you're in a canyon and it's a wind tunnel and it's just blowing that wind right through there and stoking that fire to higher temperatures. It's not going to help. So, key things to think about when building in a wildfire prone area: location, building materials, what burns and what won't, outside and inside protection. So the outside of the house may burn, melt the metal roof and things like that. But if you're in a concrete built home and you have fire sprinklers inside, that's going to keep the inside of the house cool. So it may protect clothing, things like that, from burning. It's still going to be water damage. There's not a whole lot to do when there's wildfires. So number one, like I said, is location. Look to see where you're building and what protection you have against wildfire. Then clear your area, clear around the house. All that underbrush, that dry brush, get it out of there. Clear that out. Some landscape materials are not good. Use rock, not mulch. These are things to consider if you live in a wildfire-prone location. gas storage. If you have gas appliances in your house and you have a propane tank, don't put that thing right up next to your house. Move it away from your house in a clear area where it's safe, protected. Maybe build a shelter around it that is poured concrete. Maybe bury it. That might be the best. You know, these are things to consider when you're building a home in a wildfire-prone area. But building materials. I mean, if you're building a home, you're ahead of the 8 ball, because you can choose things that are not going to be as likely to burn as others. And that's key. If you can build with stuff that's not going to burn, you're golden, you know. Now, if you have a bellows type fire where it's blowing through a canyon and you've got a jet engine on the other side of that thing, and you're at the end, bye, you're going to burn. Your house is going to go. It doesn't matter what it's built out of, because it's going to break the windows. It's going to melt the windows if they're made of a break-proof material, because that stuff is not designed to withstand the types of temperatures of a bellows type fire. So, like I said, location. Look where you're building. Look what's happening. Look at the recent historical wildfires in that area and what's happened. Wind direction. Look for all kinds of things. Do your research. Build in a safe area. Secondly, use your head. Clear the area. Make sure there's no dry brush. Use rock instead of mulch. When it comes to building materials, fire-safe building materials, as much as possible. If you're going to use gas appliances, bury your tank. Keep it in a place where it would stay cool in the event of a fire, so that thing don't blow up and exasperate your problems. Park your cars in a garage, a poured concrete garage. Don't use trusses. Trusses are wood, unless you use steel trusses, in which case you're still going to have an issue, because wildfire will melt an aluminum roof or a metal roof at certain temperatures. So if you can build a house with poured concrete walls and a poured concrete roof, you might be in a better situation. So yeah, location, clearing, building materials, using fire safety. If they tell you to evacuate, evacuate. Don't wait. Just do it. Get out. Get you and your family and your pets out. Take important documents, take important pictures and photos and things like that. Load the car up and get out of there. Because if they tell you to evacuate, they know it's going to be bad. It may take days for them to get control of that wildfire. It may take them weeks, possibly months. So have a place to go. Don't just depend on hotels, because that's going to cost you a lot of money. You know, have a place to go. Have a plan. If you're going to choose to live in that area, which I wouldn't, that's number one there, location. Make that decision before you build. This is a wildfire-prone area. Do I really want to live here? Or do I want to try and find a place that's not wildfire-prone? What's the history of that area for wildfires? And no, it's not safe to go out and spray your house down with a hose, trying to keep the wildfire away by spraying down bushes, because if you have a bellows type area where one big gust of wind turns your canyon into a furnace, you're going to end up out there, and a 1500 degree flame is going to come across you and burn you to a crisp. So long story short, location, keep your land clear, make sure that your materials are as fire retardant as possible. If you're buying a house, if you're building a house, build with fire retardant materials or fire safe materials. Check your windows, check the gaskets on your windows. All of these building materials need to be fireproof, fire retardant, fire something in a wildfire prone area. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. Send me an email at this address if you have questions, concerns, comments, or you just want to say hi. Don't forget to like and subscribe, watch the videos in the next segment, and send this channel to those that you think would value the information I'm giving out for free.
When you find your alarm sounds off in the night, don't make mistakes, get answers that are right. Keep it safe and make sure there's no fire. When the YouTube and look for kids fire protection answers. Kids fire protection answers. Got questions, he's got answers that make sense. Don't wait the channel to open his Kids Fire Protection and